So it seems like the Minister for Energy and Climate Change, Mr Bowen, isn't happy that I'm questioning government agencies about their performance.
And as I said, there's too much of it allowed and perpetrated in Parliament House, in my very strong view.
A senator's job is to gather evidence, examine it, speak to experts and report back to you, the public, on the performance of the government and their bureaucracies.
There's too much of it allowed and perpetrated in Parliament House, in my very strong view. But we can use graduated tools like linked deletion notices. So if they fail to remove the content, then we can go to the search engines such as Google or Bing to
really minimise the amount of content the Australians can see.
Increasingly, people's motives are being questioned. We can have a robust debate about the best policy response. I don't mind that. I can do it as with as much enthusiasm as the next guy.
Name the time and place and I'll be there.
But increasingly in social media in particular, you see people's motives being undermined or impugned. And I think that's where you get into dangerous polarisation. For example, questioning, it happens all the time on social media, obviously I see it's often targeted at me. If you're pro-renewables, you're accused of being a traitor because that's somehow caught up in a conspiracy about China. Or you're accused of participating in the climate hoax, which is somehow a conspiracy by scientists to keep getting funding. I've got to say, either one of these is a recipe for Australians to pay more.
What Labor governments do.
That's also perpetrated by some members of Parliament. Senator Rennick's Twitter feed is a cacophony of conspiracy theories and attacks on people's motives, including our intelligence agencies, our health bureaucrats, our climate bureaucrats, the Bureau of Meteorology, and it's not okay. And someone's got to call it out. I'm calling it out.
If you think my social media posts are conspiracy theories, I challenge you to a debate to explain why. Name the time and place and I'll be there.
It's not okay to question the patriotism or the efficacy of our intelligence agencies, saying that COVID was a conspiracy by our intelligence agencies. A serving senator of the alternative government? Really? That's okay? And Mr Dutton does nothing about it. So that sort of polarisation happens in the community, and we can and say do more about that, and we all do, but it's also happening in Parliament House, and that's not okay.
What's not okay, Mr Bowen, is for Australians to be kept in the dark about Labor's failure to keep down the cost of living.
Delete the truth.
Are you concerned that this sense of not pulling in the same direction for being solutions-focused might undermine other policies like, for example, Australia's Southeast Asia economic policy to 2040, which references the importance of renewable transitions as one of its pillars?
I think it is, as I said, part of a symptom of a broader problem. And yes, it can impact on other things. And that conspiracy theory rabbit hole develops from climate change to anti-vaxxing to foreign affairs quite easily. And as I said, there's too much of it allowed and perpetrated in Parliament House, in my very strong view. And having climate denial and anti-vaccine sentiment expressed regularly by a minority, but some Liberal Party serving members of Parliament in 2024 is not, in my view, okay without it being called out.
Nobody cares what you think.
The very concept of the democracy that we've taken for granted all of our lives is under threat as it never has been before. And it's not just in my country, it's not across Europe, it is across the whole of the world. It's not from external armies mounding up on our borders this time, but it is from the corruption and the decay of our own institutions who are allowing this to happen.
And we need a better government.